Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is Tuesday, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for a Matt test. Now, if you don't know what a Matt test is, it involves Matt. This is Matt.
Hi.
And I'm going to test him. I'm going to show him a trick and see if he can figure out how it works. We'll then stop the camera, I'll tell him how it works, and then we can give it a review. Now, Matt is no longer a muggle. He's now kind of a magician, ish, a little bit, more of a mentalist. You know, he's been learning magic. The Matchmentary Season 2 is coming soon. It's going to be very exciting. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, Matt knows a little bit about magic, but there's a lot he doesn't know. There's a lot of principles he's not aware of yet. And I've got a really exciting one for you because I'm going to show you something from somebody who I know you've got a lot of respect for. Marc Spelmann.
Oh, nice.
X himself. So this is a new thing by Marc Spelmann.
I do like
and there's no way I can perform this as well as Marc. No one can perform as well as Marc. But I'm gonna
But you're gonna have a go.
I'm gonna brummy it up. All right, mate. You ready?
I am.
Cool. So this is kind of incredible, actually, and it doesn't always work. But if it does, it's going to be great. And I'm going to do something that you shouldn't normally do with a card trick. I'm going to go through the method first of all. I'm actually going to tell you how the trick works. Now that's a new concept, I think, in card magic. You don't normally sit people down and say, let's form focus groups and work on how it works. But I'm going to actually tell you how the trick works.
Okay.
It's very simple. It's all to do with memory. Now, it's not to do with your memory, because I know you haven't got the best memory in the world.
That's
it's to do with my memory. And what you're about to see here, you're not going to believe. Now, I've shuffled and cut them, but if you want to cut as well, you can. In fact, you can cut as many times as you want to until you're happy, because every single time you cut, it completely changes the order of the cards. Obvs. We good?
You've been hanging around with theatre too long.
I really have. Nice. So, the method is simple. I'm going to try and memorise the entire order of every single card in the pack.
What?
I'm going to memorise the order of every single card in the pack.
Of course you are.
No, I am.
No.
That's the tutorial.
It's going to be the longest video.
It's an hour and 20 minutes of it's an hour and 20 minutes of Marc Spelmann teaching you how to memorise the deck.
Can you imagine if that's what it actually is?
Just insane.
Just Mark going, hi, thanks for buying my trick. Just memorise the deck.
That's all it is. But I've done it. I've achieved it.
In, like 12 seconds, you just memorise
about 20
the entire.
Yeah, the entire thing. I'm struggling with the last 10, sort of 42 onwards, but I'm okay with the ones above it.
Whatever.
No, seriously. I'll prove it to you. I've got a lot.
I turned into a petulant teenager.
I've got a lot of mnemonics wandering around in my head at the moment, so we need to do this quick before I lose it. If I had you pick a card, you'd think I was cheating. If I did this, you'd definitely think I was cheating. So instead, when I snap my fingers, name and suits, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds.
Out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Clubs.
Okay. And there's 13 of those, obviously. When I snap my fingers again, I want you to name one of them. A value.
Ace.
Ace of clubs.
Yeah.
You'd think the aces would be easy, but they're not.
Even Mike scrunching his face up here.
No. It's in the top half. Because the ace of spades was in the bottom half. And the 8 of clubs was in the bottom half. But the ace was in the top. It was really near the top, actually. It was like single digits. It was 4 cards from the top. The ace of clubs is 4 cards from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. This is the ace of clubs. Seriously. I'm not joking. They're not marked. This is the ace of clubs.
What the hell?
There's no point in looking for marks. They're not marked because the whole thing, I was lying to you, it's not to do with memory work. I was acting. Rather trained, not really. But no, I was I wasn't memorising anything, I was acting. Because really I was psychologically influencing you to go for the ace of clubs.
Thought I was getting a headache.
Well, yeah, because there's no other cards in the deck.
What do you mean there's no other cards in the deck? What the fuck?
Look at those.
Oh, you can look at
Yeah,
them.
go for them. Not double-ended or anything, they really are No other cards.
I know there's nothing wrong with them, otherwise you wouldn't have let me pick them up.
Exactly, there's no other cards in the deck. The only card here is the one you picked, the Ace of Clubs.
Ooh. But you let me pick them up.
Yeah. Like I said, the Ace of Clubs is the only card in the deck.
It's not like the strongest roughing fluid on earth.
No.
They're not rough.
This feels like it would be your sort of trick. Purely because it's psycho-babble type stuff, like memory work, the sort of thing that you like.
Psycho-babble?
You know, the sort of stuff that you know, I've been to gigs with you and watched you spend 25 minutes pretending you can read somebody's eye as well, you know.
Yeah.
I
can.
This is the same. This is the same sort of thing as that. You know, you kind
I
of.
don't understand how you can let me look at the cards afterwards.
Yeah, well, that's cool, isn't it? Oh, and by the way, it's like a 5-second reset.
That is now a 5-second reset.
Yeah, it's a 5-second reset. I just need to gather them up really, and I can reset it. It takes about 5, maybe 10 seconds.
So are you forcing the Ace of Clubs?
No, not at all.
Oh, because I picked it in my head, didn't I?
Yeah, you did everything. How could I force a card that you literally just thought of yourself?
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, it's Marc Spelmann, so it's going to be in it.
Oh, it's been produced. I didn't want to tell you this just in case it biased you somehow, but it's actually produced by Alakazam.
Oh, well, there you go then. What do you need my opinion for? It's produced by Pete and Harry, and it's got Marc Spelmann's name on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't need me to help you sell that one. It's just going to sell on its own.
It's going to, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, do you have any idea as to what's going on here?
Well, yeah, until you let me look at the cards. And as soon as you let me look at the jokers, then no. Because I was fully expecting them to be, like, rough. But they're not.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll stop the camera for a second. I'll tell Matt how it works, and then we'll come back. So I've just explained to Matt how it works.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like I made life really easy for you with my selection.
No, you didn't really. Well, not really. I mean, full disclosure, that was a good outcome.
Yeah.
But to be honest, all of the outcomes are good. Now you know how it works. All of the outcomes are good. They literally can name any value. They literally, you know, they feel like they can name every single aspect of the card. Well, in actual fact, there's some powerful sort of psychology going on behind the scenes there.
The most powerful thing about it was when I examined them afterwards. When you examine the cards afterwards, you're like, oh, okay.
To be honest,
I know is just.
But I think that's you as a magician talking, because to be honest, I don't think lay people will want to examine these cards. I think they might just look at a couple of them because it's a weird thing to a layman seeing a deck of jokers.
Yeah.
And magicians, we're used to that. We're used to seeing a force deck like that. But I don't think laymen are. So I think maybe they just look at a couple of cards just out of curiosity. But I think that the method behind it and the procedure is so clean that I don't think that they would. I don't think they'd go and pick anything up because they're seeing them front and back. They're seeing absolutely everything. You're not doing any dodgy dealing or anything. You're dealing to the number that you're saying. You know, and also, it's kind of what I like about it so much is it's like an M. Shyamalan film. You know, like The Sixth Sense, where at the end, spoiler, Bruce Willis is dead, and you don't realise that until the very end. Yes, he is.
I've never actually seen it.
Well, Bruce Willis died. He's dead. The entire movie. So there you go. Don't watch it. But
Genuinely, I've never seen it.
there you go. And by the way, just so you know, in Fight Club, Brad Pitt is the narrator. Is what's his name? Oh, Brad Pitt's the main character. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, so you know that twist.
Yeah.
Right, good.
His mom dies.
I'll ruin a bunch of films for you if you want me to later. But the point I'm trying to make is you lead them down this garden path.
Yeah.
They think the trick is one thing, which is kind of an interesting premise. I'm gonna memorize a deck of cards. That seems like a plausible, real thing that you can do. You know, it seems like superhuman, but it's plausible. You do see people doing memory stunts, but then when you've done that and you've got that reaction, and your reaction to that moment was quite impressive. You were looking for marks and they weren't there.
Yeah.
That trick on its own. If I took a regular deck of cards and I shuffled it and had you cut it and blah blah blah, and I said I'm going to memorize the order, and then I just literally had you name a card and it was at that position. That would that's a good trick in its own right. It's not like that trick is terrible. That's a great trick. But then you pull the wool out from under the rug out from under their feet, and you kind of go, well, you know, I psychologically influenced you. You didn't have a choice. There was never, there was never any other cards in the deck, and that's a little bit like that moment at the end of the film, that killer twist that they don't see coming, that almost changes every single aspect of the trick up until that point. Now they're questioning everything that they've seen. So at that point, then when you show that all the cards are jokers, it's like, what?
Yeah. And then it's good. It's good. It's a really, really good trick. And if you're somebody like Marc, who is obviously an incredible performer, you could play the crap out of that.
Oh, you really could.
Literally twist people and snap them in half with that kind of thing.
100%. It's easy to do. There's an hour and 20-minute tutorial with 2 live performances. There's a live performance of what looks like Marc doing it at sort of like a magic club. And you've got David Penn filming it. You see David Penn on the camera. But then he's also got a studio performance as well. And then he performs the whole thing in the studio. He explains it. He goes through absolutely everything. To be honest, he could have explained it in about 15 minutes. But he goes through absolutely everything. Yeah. If you're a rank...
Which is good for somebody like me.
Yeah.
That would need that.
Yeah. And if you're a rank beginner with no experience at all, you would be able to do this trick with a little bit of practice, because there's no sleight of hand in it at all.
Yeah.
There's no memory work, despite the fact saying that there's memory work. There's no memory work. There's no sleight of hand. It's easy to do. I would even say it's self-working, but you do have to understand the concept of performance. Yeah. And that's what Marc spends a long time doing, talking about how to perform the trick and how to do it and how to make it more than just the sum of its parts.
Well, that's worth the getting a little bit of a masterclass from Marc Spelmann on how to perform is worth the money. Whatever it costs is worth the money on its own, isn't it?
Yeah, I really love this. I think that this could be... This for me, here's a bold statement. This for me is up there with some of the big killer decks that people carry around with them at gigs. Like I'm talking about Invisible Deck. I'm talking about Sanders Any Card. I'm talking about Quantum Deck. Like what I did there. I think this is up there with the best gimmick decks of all time. I think that this is something that you would carry around with you, and you could make a feature of this. I really do, and I think it would be a great closer. I think it would be a great opener. I think it could fit in at any point. It's killer. It's really...
Wow.
I love this. I think this is one of... Here's the thing. I think this is one of the best tricks that Alakazam has produced ever. Outside of the Craig Petty range of magic, available from Alakazam Magic and Peter Nardi and Harry Nardi. Outside of that, this is probably one of the best tricks. No, I'm joking, obviously.
No, you're not.
No. Sorry, Marc.
This chair is so squeaky.
Sorry, Marc. It's not as good as Gossip. Just saying. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's in all seriousness. It's very good. It's bloody amazing, and it's a perfect example of taking a card trick and not making it a card trick. Like at the end of this is not a card trick. It is a card trick, but it's just not a card trick. It's really not. It's not about somebody picking a card and finding.
If you can sell it, that you're genuinely making people believe that you're.
And that's why I wanted this to be on the mat test, because I think you could sell this. I think you could sell the shit out of this.
Probably. If I had a bit of practice on getting it right, then the actual being able to sell that I'm doing that, and then
hit them in the head.
Yeah. Changing everything up afterwards and going, well, I did memorise it, but I didn't really have to, because that was the end.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, because what I'm planning on doing is starting a new segment in the next week or two, where you take some of these tricks that you're showing me and we get footage of you doing them to real people.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We're going to call it, like just down the road from the office, we've got a McDonald's. We're going to call this McDonald's Magic. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you go into McDonald's going up to
McDonald's?
because I think it'd be funnier going up to some random chavs. So you're going to go up to, you know, somebody at McDonald's and you're going to say, hey, my name's Matt, I'm a magician, I want to show you a trick. And you're going to perform some of the stuff, like some of the stuff that you've done on the Matt test. I think that'd be fun. I think people on Magic TV would like to see this. I think
there's enough segments with me on them already.
Nah,
we don't need another one.
Let me just check with Michael. Michael, do we need more Matt?
We do need more Matt.
We don't need more Matt.
So coming soon on Magic TV, we've got McDonald's Magic with Matt. Matt's McDonald's Magic. There we go. Matt's McDonald's Magic.
I don't think we're allowed to use their name, are we?
Yeah, we can.
Probably.
Matt's McDonald. What are they going to do? Sue us? I mean, what? Sue us? We got away with the Netflix thing. I think we're good. If anybody's going to sue us, it's fucking Netflix. Let's be honest. Look at the fucking logo. God. It's almost identical.
God. Oh my God.
That should be the new strapline. Rather than NETRIX, the home for magician, it should be NETRIX. We're just waiting to be sued. So while we're waiting to be sued, we may as well throw McDonald's into the mix as well.
Yeah, so, screw it. Let's just go for all of the biggest companies in the world.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Piss Apple off next.
Yes, let's change the name of the company to Apple.
Yeah, do it.
Non-stop Apple Entertainment.
Brilliant.
Let's do it. But so I'm going to give this to you, and I'm going to give you the little card that you learn it. And next week we're going to do our first Matt's McDonald's magic trip.
Excellent.
No problem. But for now, how much are you going to give it? I'm going to give this 120%. I think it's brilliant.
You know that's not possible, right?
It's a thing. We're allowed to do that on Magic TV.
Especially if it's Alakazam.
Yes, if it's Alakazam. If I don't give it
100%,
if I don't give it 120%, Ryan will slap me.
I really like it. I think it's great. I think it would really work in the real world, and obviously we're going to find out. Apparently, yeah, 100%.
100%. 100% from Matt. Not quite as good as my percentage, but that's fine.
That's because you can't get any better than 100%. 100% is the maximum you can give anything. You can't give anything more than 100%.
Apparently you can. So
you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
I was watching a review show. I was in a review show recently where Rylan gave something a bazillion, gillion,
yeah, but
trillion.
he's 10.
Yeah, and? He's better at maths than you. And me.
Are we done?
So, 120% from me, 100% from Matt, and there you go. It's called Solus. It's by Marc Spelmann.
It's called what?
Souls.
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 Nice.
As in, or what's in your shoes?
Soul.
Depending.
Yeah. Souls.
So you can get it from Alakazam, and it's available now from all from Alakazam. But Matt will be back again next Tuesday with another Matt test or Craig test or one of them.
Maybe.
And look out for Matt's McDonald's Magic coming soon, right here on Magic TV.
Where it's not a thing.
We force Matt to do magic to people in McDonald's. We've got one 2 minutes down the road. It's amazing. We may as well use the resources at our disposal. We'll see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Craig. This is Grumpy Pants. We'll see you again soon. Say bye, Grumpy Pants.
Bye, Grumpy Pants.